They work hard in the dirty areas because it is difficult, not because it is easy.
Welcome into show 56 of the Pucknologists here on Teal Town USA. Subscribe to us on SoundCloud, give us a review on iTunes, and enjoy us on your podcast platform of choice. And as always, check us out on Twitter and Instagram at Teal Town USA and subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'm your Huckleberry, AJ_Strong, and with me, the other Huckleberry, Rocket Backhander.
Why, my dear, I'm not wearing my bustle. Rocket Backhander reporting for duty.
I do declare. Oh, this week in Sharks hockey has not been a good one, my friends. The Sharks have gone 1-3-1 over their last 5. Good for a record of 13-10-5 for 31 points. 3rd in the division, 7th in the conference after being 3rd just 2 weeks ago. Sharks played 4 games since we last spoke, at Buffalo, at Toronto, at Ottawa, at Montreal. That's right. The Northeastern road trip from hell is what this was. Starting in Buffalo, Evander Kane would return as the Sabres come in on a 9-game winning streak, and largely thanks to Joe Pavelski, the Sharks would steal a charity point and a 3-2 overtime loss. Follow that up at Toronto. The Sharks would get a shot at redemption just 2 weeks after playing some of their worst hockey of the season versus Toronto, but lose again by the same score. Marleau's game-winning goal is the first against his old team, and he's now scored on all 31 NHL teams. The Sharks would then head over to Ottawa and play nearly as bad as they did in Vegas to start this road trip, and would drop this one 6-2. Martin Jones was pulled with just over 5 minutes left. And this one reminded me of a Folgers coffee commercial. We've replaced Martin Jones with an empty net. Let's see if anyone notices. And immediately Ottawa did notice, because they scored about 5 seconds after that. At Montreal, the Sharks would have private meetings in the morning, both with Coach DeBoer and GM Doug Wilson. And somehow they figured out how to win again, 3-1. And I think we can all agree, if the Habs had really wanted to win that one, they would have started Niemi instead of Carey Price. So we get into the good, the bad, and the ugly. What is your good, Rocket? Because it was a bad week of hockey.
Yeah, it was an absolutely abysmal week of Sharks hockey.
It was a shit show, my friends.
Yes, it was a reign of sadness and pain for me as a fan. So I will say that the sliver of good I took out of this was
the plane didn't crash.
Well, no, I will say that it's, now that November is over, and I will say that having watched this team for a couple of seasons now, I can say that I think the good was Logan Couture's mustache this year was really good, like way better than last year. Like, yeah, he's getting it, man. So that's a positive. That's the good I got. Sorry, guys.
That is the one thing that did kind of bum me out, is seeing Charche get pulled, sent back down, because his duster was coming in pretty well as well.
Yeah, that's true.
But the honesty from Couture over this week, especially in those post-game media scrums, that was nice. You can see that he's not looking at trying to come up with excuses. He's calling out what it is, that it's not good enough. What they're doing is not working. So respect Couture, that he is the future captain of this team. Just accept it and you'll be happy you did. The Sharks power play, that's woken up over the last 5 to 7 games, which has been nice. I don't know if that's at the expense of the PK, but the power play has looked good. And another silver lining for you people, in 15-16, the season the Sharks went to the final, The team was 18-18-2 at one point. So just hang your hat on that for a sec. How about the bad, Rock?
This team had more giveaways than the Publishers Clearinghouse sweepstakes.
I told you I was going to name Erik Karlsson Red Hot Chili Pepper because it was just a lot of give it away now.
God.
Yeah, my bad was kind of DeBoer's, everything is fine. Remain calm. It's all good. The house is burning down, but no, we're all good. I think I would have liked to have seen a little more from PDB. You don't have to throw players under the bus, but you would at least see Todd McClellan from time to time say, we got too many passengers, not enough drivers. You don't have to call out guys by name, but you can say this is not good enough. And instead, PDB just kind of had this, we'll get there. We'll get there. PDB, have you looked at a history sheet? Because you can't make it past through a fourth season with the team. So maybe everything isn't that fine. But Rock, you're ugly.
Man, my ugly is the fact that they had to have a closed doors meeting with the GM. It's, you know what? You guys have been here before. All of you. Some of you are multi-award winners. You get paid a lot of money. And the GM has to come in and remind you to have fun. What's wrong with you?
I'm telling you. My ugly, of course, being that the Sharks went an entire month, actually more than an entire calendar month, without getting a road win. Picking up 3 of 10 possible points on a trip. That's not good enough.
What's wrong with you?
Mm-hmm. So let's move out of the good and the bad and the ugly and get into our 3 stars of the week, if we can find them. And tell them,
oh, good for you.
And Rocket, your star of the week.
Man, this shouldn't have to be so hard. You know what? Okay, I'm gonna give Joner. I'm gonna give Martin Jones my star because he didn't look bad in this last game. He made the routine saves that usually he lets in. So it was nice to see. He was quick on the reflexes. Maybe up the Adderall dosage. Good job.
Yeah, maybe that's our star for the day so far. I don't know.
It's small victories. I'm just gonna take them where I can. Yeah.
Hockey Jerk is on assignment, if you can't tell by now. But his 3rd start of the week, he said, would likely go to Pavelski. So we'll hand you that one. And, of course, mine is Couture because I appreciate the honesty and telling it like it is and not trying to come up with excuses. Not having this everything is fine attitude. So, Logan Couture, you're my star of the week, and for that,
oh, good for you.
So let's jump into Shark Bites. Patrick Marleau would become the 11th player in NHL history to play in 1,600 games and has scored against all 31 teams in the NHL. And it makes you wonder just how much more quickly he would have hit 1,600 games if it wasn't for losing the entire 04-05 season. The shortened season from 6-7 years ago, whatever it was, where we only played 48 games. There was another one of those. Oh, wait a minute. No, that was before, I think Marleau was probably playing in middle school at that point. But I know, wasn't there another, there might have been one other short stoppage, but either way, he would have gotten here a lot faster. So either way, congrats, Marleau. That's pretty awesome. Who do you replace DeBoer with if you're in that club of wanting to replace DeBoer? That's my whole thing. You can sit here and say, oh, God, fired PDB. But if you don't have obviously the easy thing to say is Coach Q. They'll get Quenneville in here. Quenneville ain't coming here, kids.
No, you slide up Steve's spot, and then you get a new coach on the power play. And then you get, because that's how it works. Is you don't get you don't get fired if you can get promoted. See, so
It's that meme.
Exactly. It's so if we promote Spot, then we can get rid of him out of that position. Then we can hire somebody who can really be effective in the power play.
I like it. Failing upward.
I've learned a lot while I've lived in Tennessee.
The chances EK65 stays in San Jose seem to be dwindling. I don't know about you. We talked to Drew Remenda just a couple weeks ago, and I asked him, what did he think the chances were of EK65 staying put? And Drew said, hey, 98%. I got to say right now, it feels like 98% he'll be out the door. When you call the previous city your forever home, I'm just saying. And the fact that clearly, I mean, yeah, okay, over the last like 7 games or so, it's definitely gotten better. But let's see where we're at about the halfway mark and see if EK has lit the world on fire or if he kind of went pedestrian again. I don't know.
Well, you have to remember, and I don't want to defend the guy, but I will say that this isn't a unique situation in that if you remember, Piqué Subban had a huge following when he was with Les Habitants. Huge. And, he gave all that money to the Montreal Children's Hospital and so on and so forth. And just really pledged his heart and soul to the city of Montreal, and then was traded to Nashville, and he's still here. He's still in Nashville. He hasn't left.
Well, we'll see. I don't remember Piqué calling Montreal my forever home, but All-Star voting has gotten underway. The fun part here being is that the Sharks have 7 options to vote for. Meanwhile, I think everybody else has like maybe 4 at the most. But of course, the Sharks, being the host city, have 7 options: Burns, Couture, Jones, Kane, EK65, Pavs, and Jumbo. Who considers a goalie with a 3.01 goals against and an 894 save percentage all-star caliber? Can someone explain that to me? I mean, give me a break. Burns, I'll give you. Couture, maybe, but Jones, no. Kane, no. EK65, no. Pavelski, maybe. He is a captain. He's having a career year at this point. I think if he scores like 3 more goals, he already has like the same that he had all of last season. So good on Pavs. And then Jumbo, well, Jumbo's missed half of the first, part of the season.
Oh, loosen your girdle up, Betsy. Jeez Louise. We're the host team, okay? And Burns is crowd favorite. Couture, I don't know if he would have so much fun out there. Maybe he would, but he would just have that look on his face, the look that his face does. Jones, I don't know. Evander Kane, I think, would have a lot of fun. These are people who I think would have a lot of fun with it. And I think that Jumbo deserves it to go. So he should be in there. It doesn't really matter if any of these people are all-star caliber, because I would rather see guys who are good, who have fun. I don't want to see the best of the best get invited with sticks up their asses and then watch them waddle around out there. Or just mysteriously come down with an illness so they can't go. It's I hate that.
Oh,
man.
I believe that's referred to as Crosbyitis.
Right?
But
anyway.
We see on Twitter, Frank Saravalli pointing out that there's a new format for the NHL All-Star Weekend this year in San Jose. Media Day will be on Thursday, the January 24th. Skills competition on January 25th. And the All-Star game itself will actually be played on Saturday in prime time, whereas traditionally it had been played on Sunday afternoon. We'll see how that impacts ratings. I wouldn't want to play on a Sunday afternoon, considering that's also right around the time some probably really important football games will be taking place. So hopefully that helps with the ratings and gets more people viewing on it. But my other question is, why can I vote 10 times a day, every day, between now and up till the All-Star game? Obviously it's a ploy to artificially inflate the numbers and pit fan bases against each other to prove who has more time on their hands. And why do I actually have to hit the button 9 more times to, You go in there, you set you vote for the 4 people the people that you want to captain the 4 divisions, and then you hit the little button that says vote, and then you get a page that says, do you want to vote on those people again? Well, yeah, I voted for them once. Of course, those are the people that I vote. And so you sit there and you have to hit the button 9 more times. Why can I vote 10 times? Can't I just vote once? This is what makes you silly, NHL. It's stupid stuff like this.
You're silly, AJ. Expand your mind. There's people out there who want to vote 10 times a day, but they want to use those votes 10 different ways.
That's stupid.
Yes.
One man, one vote. That's it. That's all you did. One person, one vote. That's all you need. So this is something that we actually discussed last week, but we cut it for time. The Sharks are trying out happy hour pricing. First 45 minutes from the time the doors open until half an hour before puck drop. They got some beer, wine, and water, half price. Stick taps for the Sharks for doing this. I'd like to see them add food to that, maybe a hot dog or something like that. Wash all that extra beer down. But next home game, I will be taking part in that, and it happens for the rest of this calendar year for the home games for the Sharks. Hey, speaking of cheap hot dogs and cheap beer, your San Jose Barracuda are still tearing up the Pacific Division at 27 points, 2 above the Tucson Roadrunners, and they are actually in action in just a little bit as we're recording this versus the San Diego Gulls. The San Diego Gulls are at the bottom of the Pacific Division, so hopefully the Barracuda can pick up yet another couple of points there. And finally, this was a debate, and I know Rocket is going to, okay, ladies and gentlemen, I have not talked to Rocket about this previously, but watch the yarn she's about to spin. You're about to see something really cool. When is it cool and when is it not cool for players to not sign stuff? Because evidently during this road trip, somebody, I believe it was in Ottawa, posted photos of themselves with Hurdle, and I can't remember the other person off the top of my head, but obviously another player, might have been Timo or something, but posted a photo and then mentioned that Erik Karlsson was a bit of a dick and wouldn't sign anything, wouldn't take photos with anybody. And this conversation, it was just post after post, people throwing up their different experiences. So for you, Rocket, when is it cool? When is it not cool for players to not to do photos,
right?
Sign stuff?
It's cool for them when they feel like it, and when they don't feel like it, that's cool too, because they're humans. They are obligated to no one. They don't have to take a photograph with you every single time you ask for it. It doesn't matter if you're at practice. It doesn't matter if you see them in public. They don't owe you, you entitled fan. Get over yourself, okay? They don't owe you. The only time they owe you is if they are sitting at a table with a pen in their hand and you have paid for the access to them to sign your merchandise or to sign whatever it is that you presented to them. Other than that, they're doing it as a courtesy. And if you want to call somebody out because they're not granting you this courtesy, come on. These people are human. They have other things to do. They have stuff on their minds. Maybe it's just not part of their gig, okay? Don't project your personal fantasies, failures onto these real people. It's pretty rude. Just saying.
Yeah. No, that was kind of my thing as well. I think the idea of eBay has also put a lot of players off the idea of wanting to sign stuff, because I've literally seen guys that they go on a road trip. They where was it that we started the season back east as well, where we played the Islanders, Flyers, Rangers jersey. I can't remember what game it was. Think it might have been after the Rangers game, but there's a guy who posted photos of himself outside the Sharks hotel, and there's a couple players and pictures of them signing stuff, and those were included in the eBay listing that the guy posted later that day. So it's guys like that are just screwing it up for everybody else. But I concur with Rocket. The only time it is not cool for them to not sign stuff, tank tailgate, fan fest. That's for some reason there's a couple guys that were fine at the tank tailgate, whether it was Couture, Pavelski, Dylan, Burns, those guys, no problem signing stuff. But for some reason, Erik Karlsson, Evander Kane, Marc-Edouard Vlasic wouldn't sign stuff during the tank tailgate. I don't know why. This is a fan event.
It probably has something to do with their agent. Like if their agent has deals with other things and like they have exclusive rights to their likeness, and that includes their signature, so they can't actually contractually sign things at events like that.
No, because they were signing inside. And in fact, that was one of the things that Vlasic told people when they would ask for a signature at tank tailgate. He goes, "Oh, I'm not signing out here, only inside."
Right.
So no, it's nothing with contractual stuff. It was just I think some players were told like, hey, you can take photos, but you can't sign. And I think some players are just kind of like, look, if people are going to ask me to sign something, I'm just going to sign it. It's no biggie. I don't know. But it's either way, it's a fan event. Just, like you're already in that headspace of like, well, I'm going to be taking photos. I'm going to be signing stuff. Raises a lot of money for a good cause. Let it happen.
I don't think a player should be penalized, though, if his wrist or his arm or whatever is feeling kind of sore that day. And
not at all.
And he says, no, thank you to an autograph. And he just says, no, thank you to all the autographs, but doesn't say, hey, no, thanks. My wrist is really sore, because when does a hockey player ever disclose he's got an illness? Never.
And that was the deal with Joe Pavelski a year ago.
See?
So, yeah, he wasn't signing stuff. And there was some people that called him out on social media saying, wow, everybody was cool. Everybody signed except Pavelski. And it was a lot of it was like, geez, why is Pavelski such a dick? And then, of course, you come to find out at the end of the season that at the beginning of the year when this event happened, he had a wrist injury. And so it's probably pretty painful. So anyway, go enjoy that debate yourself, people. Now, this, to some of you, this is going to come off really, really bizarre. And to others of you, you're going to be like, holy crap, where has this been? Around the horn, baby. We have not merped in quite some time. No one will confirm on the record, according to Darren Drager, but that it will happen tomorrow. But Seattle is expected to begin play in 2021. In 3 short years, my friends, Seattle comes into the NHL. You know what that means, kids. Adios, Arizona. Welcome to the Central Division. As if things weren't already difficult enough for you already. Are you looking forward to playing the Seattle whoever's?
I don't care. I don't care. No, I have only, I have a finite amount of energy, and that energy right now is going in towards not
caring about Seattle.
Yeah, it's going. All my stuff is going into caring about not losing my freaking mind at this damn team this year. I don't have any other headspace for any other like sort of what ifs and maybe wills with other teams. Good for Seattle. Congratulations.
Oh, good for you.
I hope people throw fish onto the ice, But then there's like guys on the ice who will catch them.
Right? Hey. Jonathan Quick would return after being out with a knee injury since October 23rd for the Kings, and now it's announced Kovalchuk, that ridiculously awesome offseason acquisition, he now goes on the IR for 4 weeks minimum. Does that matter? Probably not. Ron Hextall fired as the GM of the Flyers. Chuck Fletcher has been named the EVP and new GM of the Flyers, coming in, I believe, most recently from the Minnesota Wild. We'll see if he can turn the Flyer franchise around. I honestly, when Hextall was fired, I thought they were just going to promote Gritty to GM, because I don't think he could have done any worse than anybody else at this point, but we'll see what happens with Philadelphia. McKinnon, McDavid, and Ovechkin are among team MVPs in the first quarter. I don't think that shocks anyone. Sammy Vatanen has joined the Scored in My Own Net Club. when Jersey played Tampa over the last week or so, there's just no more fun than scoring on your own goal. William Nylander is finally signed with Toronto, and yet the Maple Leafs still somehow have $5.7 million in cap space. Watch out for Toronto as this season continues. Darling was placed on waivers by the Canes. Why do Blackhawks goalies suck once they leave Chicago? I mean,
because their defense was really good.
That's, again, I go back to that meme of the guy pointing at his tempo going,
if the defense is good, the goalie can suck and no one will know.
Exactly.
And then we'll sell him to Doug Wilson.
Yeah. I expect Darling to be with the Sharks next season.
I'm kidding.
Patrick Laine is lighting the lamp a ridiculous amount so far this season. 18 goals in 12 games in November. This is going to be a lot of fun to see the scoring race. I mean, 18 goals in 12 games.
He almost scored 2 hat tricks in one game.
Yeah, I mean, 5 goals and what? That's just.
I watched that game. That was a fun game to watch.
Oh, good luck with that. Continue on keeping Winnipegging. Just don't do it versus the Sharks. And we mentioned it earlier that the Sabres faced the Sharks, and when that game was happening, Sabres are coming in on a 9-game streak, would take it to 10 versus the Sharks. The very next game, the Tampa Bay Lightning would end that streak at 10 and take back first place, which obviously means the Sharks will play them soon enough, because it seems like the Sharks, so every time there's a new hot team, the Sharks have to play them. So speaking of next games, the Sharks will go home for a quickie after this 5-game roadie and then go back out on the road. Thanks for that, schedulers. I believe over the course of 8 games, 7 of them on the road for the Sharks, starting with Carolina, who have lost 3 of their last 4, including games against Anaheim and LA. The Sharks lost to Carolina in October, 4-3 in the shootout, you'll remember. Then we head out to Big D, who have only had 3 home losses this season. The Sharks will, bizarrely, again, in another scheduling quirk, will host the Stars less than a week later after that game. And then at Arizona, seeing Arizona also for the first time this season, who are on a 3-game winning streak. And a goalie that no one ever heard of about a week and a half ago is the second star for the week in the NHL, the goaltender for Arizona, Aiden Hill. Good luck with that. Should be an interesting 3 games, especially if another closed-door meeting is going to take place, which I think we all hope doesn't happen. For those of you who are unaware, we ran a little contest last week to win a little prize, and it all had to do with throwing us a review. Didn't matter good or bad, as long as it was honest and provided, some sort of feedback. Sean Rashkis, I'm hoping I am pronouncing that correctly. You, my friend, have won. Hit us up on Twitter at Pucknologists. You can slide into our DMs or what have you, but get on the Twitter at Pucknologists, and we will work out how to get you your prize. So, final thoughts on where the people can find you on the social rocket. What do you expect of this team throughout? What is your holiday wish? What do you want to see from this team to finish out 2018?
Oh, what I expect and what I wish are 2 very separate things here. Come on now. All right. So I wish that this team would figure their identity out. I think that they know who they are as individual players, and I think that they each know what their strengths and weaknesses are and what they need to improve in their individual game. But as a crew, I don't think they know who they are. It's like in an Ocean's 11 movie, how everybody has a role. There's the explosives guy, and there's the computer guy, and then there's the karate guy, and then there's the guy who serves the cupcakes with the sprinkles guy. Everybody has a role. And I think what's happening here is they're not communicating, they're not getting on the same page. And let me put it this way, if the roster of the San Jose Sharks tried to throw a potluck and they're just like, yeah, I'm just going to bring something, all of them would bring chips. They're just like, they don't know what they're supposed to do. So I think they need to go they need to take a couple of days and go curling or like go freaking to Montreal and hang out at the clubs there or whatever. Like go, I don't know, go eat some good food and hang out and do charades and do dumb stuff, climb rocks and things. Just like bond more. I don't think that they know who they are as a team. That's just how I feel.
It's they need to go bocce ball. That's probably it. You said everybody has a roll. I prefer cinnamon.
Okay. I like raisin. Raisin rolls are good.
See? Well, maybe. I don't know that I want to go the full like Ron Wilson team building curling thing, but maybe bocce ball. I might be down with that.
No, we need to go straight, full Wilson on this one. You gotta go full Ron. My name is Rocket Backhander. You can find me on Twitter, hanging out, talking about Shark stuff, mostly Shark stuff, some hockey stuff, complaining about the weather in Nashville because the weather in Nashville is something to complain about, especially if you're me. That's R Backhander 76, capital R, capital B, little Backhander 76 on Twitter. If you'd like to see photographs of my life as a Sharks fan and a Nashvillian, or a Nashvillian, I guess. I don't know. Whatever they call them around here. They think that they're so cute. It's a Rocket Backhander, one word, on the Instagram. AJ?
Well, pretty much everything that Rocket just said. Like, figure it out. Right now, we were talking about memes earlier. This team reminds me of the Spider-Man pointing at the other Spider-Man meme. Just kind of nothing real different. Just looking in the mirror and seeing basically the same thing. No real changes. So, PDB, figure something out, man. You were fired after 34 games, your fourth season in New Jersey. You're in your fourth season right now. If you cannot get the most talented Sharks team in franchise history to do better than what they're doing, you may find yourself out of a job, my friend. That's debatable as to whether or not that should happen, but coaches are easy scapegoats. I am AJ_strong on Twitter, on Instagram, on MySpace, on Friendster, all of those things. You can go. Good luck finding me on all of those places.
Give us a listen on LimeWire, hey?
Yeah, LimeWire, yeah. Or IRC, download off IRC, God. Any of those. LimeWire. What was the other one? There was another, not Napster, but Napster, LimeWire. There was another one between Napster and LimeWire that I remember was like a big deal. I can't remember it. I'm not going to give away a prize this week if you can tell us the name of that, but we'd certainly appreciate it. We'll do a prize next week for something, I promise. So something for the holidays. You know what I think? You know what? I am going to at least announce what the prize will be next week. I got to make sure I write this down, but maybe we give away the Tomas Hertl bobblehead of Tomas in a Christmas wrapping suit. I don't even know what that suit is made, but it looks like hideous Christmas paper. They're doing a bobblehead that will be given out December 23rd. We actually already have one, so maybe we can get you a Christmas present. So stay tuned. Listen to the show next week, show 57. That will be announced. So enjoy that. Subscribe to us on SoundCloud and iTunes, whatever podcast catcher you use. Subscribe to the Teal Town USA YouTube channel and follow us on Twitter at Teal Town USA. Thanks for playing. That's show 56. We will see you all next time. Do you have some sort of sign off? What was it? Oh, wait a minute. I remember your sign off last game, if I remember correctly. Let's see if she can remember what it was, kids.
I don't know when I'm supposed to come in. Knock, knock, it's Teal again. Telling you to keep it real again. I got all the feel again. I got a fish on the reel again.
Oh, hey now.